Hello everybody and welcome back to my second video now. Just a couple things before we hop into the video today. First and foremost, nothing I'm saying in these videos is financial advice, so please assess your own financial situation and make decisions based on that. And secondly, for the next few days, I'm going to be trying to put out a video a day. So I really appreciate the support on the first videos and just expect upload times to be around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time for the foreseeable future. But with that being said, let's jump into the video. All right, so today we're going to be talking about some of the basic strategies that you can implement if you're completely new to meme coins. I think that it's really important to understand that when you're a complete beginner, like most of you are, you only should really be playing with money you can afford to lose. Most of you guys have been in this space now for a few days and you kind of understand how crazy some of these things can get. But, just as fast as these assets can go up, they can plummet and go down to literally zero. So especially while you're new and you haven't seen these 90% dips, really be cautious with the money that you're initially playing with and always start your portfolio with something you're comfortable with. So for example, if you've been following me on TikTok for a little while now, you know that I started a challenge wallet with 1 Solana and I've been trying to generate as much Solana as possible with it. Currently, we have 2.4 Solana in dry powder. And then we have a conglomerate of different tokens that I'm kind of trading with right now. And just to kind of go over my thought process with this wallet initially, you start with 1 Solana. You don't have a ton of ammunition. You can't take a ton of chances, really. You have to be pretty smart. So my initial strategy was to take quick 2x wins. And, honestly, you can find 2x's quite easily in this market at any time. Most people, when they're new to trading meme coins, will make the mistake of thinking that the top 10 to 15, maybe 20 tokens on Dex Screener are going to be their best chance to get a quick 2x, and I completely disagree. The thing that you have to understand is that all of these tokens that are highlighted in yellow here, and they have these boosted numbers next to them, all of these projects have paid a ridiculous amount of money to get in front of your eyeballs, and that was strategic. It's because they don't have actual organic support and they need to go and try and buy it. So one of the basic things that I would recommend, honestly, is to just try to avoid buying any of these tokens that are highlighted in yellow. I mean, Dex Screener now is essentially the biggest advertising conglomerate in the crypto space. So, projects can pay a lot of money to basically force themselves in front of you. And, you can tell pretty quickly that these tokens aren't very good just based on, some of the metrics that we see here. So now I'm just going to go through a couple different tokens and just kind of talk through what I think about and why I don't, or why I might put some money into certain tokens. The first one we're looking at here actually got sent to me in our Telegram group last night. And I immediately saw it and I was scratching my head as to why anybody would consider buying it. It's Barney on Solana. And just before we even get into any metrics or anything like that, I want you guys to think about kind of why some of these tokens actually take off and the psychology behind it. If you think about Chill Guy, which was, the most recent example of a very popular meme coin that it quote unquote blew up. The thing that was great about Chill Guy is that it had a really strong community of people who thought that the meme was extremely funny. They were pushing it, they were sharing it with friends, et cetera, et cetera. Is there a world or a scenario where you think that people are just going to rally behind a Barney token? I personally used to watch Barney, I think, when I was a toddler or, 5 to 6 years old or whatever. I haven't thought about Barney once since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And this is what I kind of want to instill in each of you, is that the way that these tokens actually make you money is if they have an extremely high amount of relevancy. And honestly, in this crypto space, there are very different types of relevancy and they come with varying degrees of relevancy. Okay, so now we're just gonna look at a few older tokens and I'm just gonna explain to you guys kind of what their specific relevancy is in correlation to the rest of the market and what kind of makes them unique. Before we do that though, it is absolutely vital that you guys, before you're looking at or even considering buying any token, that you're going to the Twitter accounts of these tokens and actually understanding kind of where and what they are focusing on. Because like I said, there are different pockets of relevancy in the market and there are different metas in the market. So with this specific token, for example, Zerebro, some of you guys may have heard of it. It's an extremely popular AI coin right now. And just to preface this, this wasn't the leader of the AI meta initially. The leader was Goatius Maximus, and that was launched basically because of Truth Terminal. And you guys could go and do your own research on why Goatius Maximus was so important, but essentially it was an AI agent that literally made itself a millionaire overnight by holding this token, essentially. That's kind of the TLDR. And now what kind of that sparked is this whole notion and concept of different AI agents, doing their own unique, cool things. And so with this specific token, for example, Zerebro, it just released a fucking album on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And, it's releasing like crazy artwork. It's doing all of these very cool things that are keeping it extremely relevant. That's kind of the easiest way you can understand relevancy in correlation to the crypto market. And you really get the best understanding of how relevant these tokens are by actually researching them. And that's why I always say do your own research and actually go out there, look at Twitters, read a white paper, and really try to understand what some of these tokens are doing. Because, obviously, some are very, very, very cool and very interesting. Another thing that keeps, Zerebro really relevant is how intertwined it is with actual Web3 culture. Like Zerebro has released its own NFT collections, and right now on Magic Eden, I'm pretty sure they're going for like 8 to 9 Solana. Moving on to the next token that we're going to look at is something that I've talked about a lot and I think is extremely relevant in 2024, and it's lock-in. Lock-in, I'm sure, is a phrase that everybody here watching this video has heard at one point or another, and it has really taken on its own wave in general, social media, but just in culture in general. This notion of locking in is something that a lot of people resonate with. It's something a lot of people can get behind, and it's something that is extremely quote-unquote memeable. Like, it's something that constantly can be talked about. It can constantly be backed by a large group of people, and they have a very committed team behind it. So these are the types of things that I personally am looking for when I am thinking about, okay, what is relevant and what can a lot of people get behind and actually, for a long period of time, consider buying or holding. And this is really why strategy is so important, because, for me personally, I'm fine with holding tokens for months to get, a 10, 20, 30x. That is my strategy. I like to buy really relevant tokens and I like to sit on my hands and wait for them to make me money. But other people don't have that patience threshold and they want to get quick wins now. And again, if you're starting a small portfolio, I recommend trying to get smaller wins and build a bigger stack so that you can start to invest longer term in these bigger coins that have, longer term potential. And that brings us to, one of the most recent examples of highly relevant, strong narrative, meta leader tokens is Peanut the Squirrel, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard of the story of Peanut through social media before you kind of got into the crypto world. But essentially, there was a guy who had a very popular TikTok page where he would post, videos of him and his pet squirrel, who he had, rescued and become basically friends with over, a long period of time. And so this guy's in New York, and basically the NYPD busts down his door one day and takes the squirrel from him, as well as a raccoon and a few other animals that were illegal for the guy in New York to be owning. So they actually euthanized the squirrel Peanut and killed this man's pet. And so the whole narrative behind this and the whole meta that sparked essentially is like, okay, the government is killing your animals, killing your pets with your taxpayer dollars, and there's nothing you can do about it. And obviously, this is an extremely big concept, big narrative. And then when you have people like Elon Musk and Trump who are basically endorsing this story and saying that it's fucked up what happened to Peanut, that's how extremely relevant, extremely explosive meme coins actually can take off. So that is what I really want you guys to understand. It's not the Barneys of the world. It's not the bullshit fucking Santa Gyat Rismus tokens. Those will never have relevancy. They might be funny for a few days. They might have, a spark of relevancy, but long-term relevancy is something that is very hard to attain. But when it does happen, you can make an absolute shit ton of money. And you probably are asking yourself at this point in the video, how do I find tokens with relevancy? And to be honest with you, that is the $1 million question. And a lot of people here on YouTube and other social media platforms will tell you that all you have to do is use these DEX screener filters, or you have to be on these advanced pump fund filters. And all of that is complete fucking horseshit. Do you see how many tokens are being launched right now? This is all happening in real time. These are all tokens right now that are being launched by people all over the world, and this is how many of them exist on a daily basis. I mean, this has only been probably 20 or 30 seconds right now, and there have at least been, I don't know, probably at least 400 to 500 tokens that have been launched. Okay, so you're not going to find highly relevant tokens by just sitting on Pump Fun all day, or by, putting in a couple cute filters on DEX Screener. It's just not going to happen. So instead of lie to you like a lot of the other YouTubers and TikTokers will out there and tell you some DEX filters that you should use to find the next 100x, I'm going to actually just show you guys what I personally do to vet tokens, because at the end of the day, even if you have the best DEX filters, or if you have the best advanced pump fund filters, or the best settings on BullX, it really doesn't matter. Like, these things don't really make that big of an impact at the end of the day. What really makes a big impact is understanding the psychology of how these tokens actually blow up and how you can find them early. And one of the best ways you can actually do that, and this is not anywhere on any social media, is by following one of these automated accounts that basically scan popular platforms like Pump Fun, where a lot of tokens are being launched. And this bot basically does all the hard work for me, okay? And again, you won't see this anywhere else on YouTube or TikTok. If you are using something like this account and you are getting this information before, the masses are, you will be way ahead of the curve. And let's just go into one of these and just go through what some of these things mean. So whenever a Pump Fund token graduates, this account does a full-blown analysis on it. It gives you the exact timing it took to actually graduate from the platform. So that gives you, insights into how popular this coin actually was on Pump Fund. There's a whole Telegram channel if you really want even more insights. But I think the TLDR in these tweets is great. It gives you a description of the token. It literally does an analysis of the token meta that it's in, the meta match, the originality of it, if there's a duplicate image, so if somebody's copying this meme off someone else. So this literally is a complete replica token of Chill Guy. Obviously, not all of these tokens are going to be good. In fact, most of them are going to suck. That's why you actually have to do the research for yourself and look into them. But this is a really good way to get a lot of extremely important information really, really quickly. Just because I got this information, it doesn't mean that this is going to be a token that could potentially make me a lot of money. So I want to do a little bit more research and dig a little deeper. And that's when you can really start to utilize other technologies as well on top of it and analyze what we call a bundle, which essentially is just the amount of supply that the dev or the original team was essentially hiding from you and didn't want you to see. And you can use tools like this one right here, which is called Trench Radar Scanner, to analyze the bundles of tokens and see if the team is hiding anything from you. Essentially, it's funny. This token isn't bundled, which is pretty rare these days. So that might be an indication maybe that I might want to buy this token. Obviously, I'm not going to. Please don't. This is just an example, but yeah. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video for today. And the reason why is simply because I don't want to overwhelm you guys and really start getting into highly technical concepts this early on in the channel. There is a lot more, obviously, I'm going to show you guys, but I think a lot of it comes with time. And if you don't understand some of the basic fundamentals of this space, you won't have a fun time trying to learn some of the more complex things. So for now, we're just going to take it slow and build upon the knowledge that we're learning. Today, I really hope you got a good understanding of what relevancy is in these markets and how we can actually position ourselves to be in front of the wave and buy these things before the masses get to them. And we're going to be talking about this in every video in the future from now on. So if you're a little shaky, if you didn't think you got a ton of knowledge out of this video, just trust me, there's a lot more stuff coming in the future, and I'm going to get you guys caught up as soon as humanly possible. So thank you so much for watching. Expect more videos daily, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.